Hellions, it is time for one more of many Warframe tutorial guides. Welcome again. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Mars. Uh, Quite a few things, including the rest of the details on the factions that I missed. We're going to be talking about the planet Mars. This is, like I've said in the past video, was where things began to get a bit more interesting. And once you make it to this part and anything past it, you are no longer a beginner in this game. Um, a few things that should still be your primary objectives. One is to clear out all of these nodes. Two is to make sure you are doing your quests that you are getting either out of from playing the game, from the junctions, from NPCs. Make sure you are doing them. Those are of highly importance. And three is make sure you are leveling your weaponry up. You are getting, um, you are by one way or another getting your master rank up by leveling up pieces of gear. If you ran across several weapons that you want to try and keep, but you have to get rid of them by getting to get more stuff, don't worry about it. Just do the prime farming fissures and collect random prime parts and then sell them to players as junk parts. um, you can actually go down into the trading area and say want to sell junk parts. People will pay say 2 plat per each, which you think that isn't really that great, but trust me, it'll add up. It'll actually be very useful because 2 weapon slots is only 12 platinum, Warframe slots are only 20. So all you gotta do is just get 10 random prime junk parts, and boom, you got yourself an easy Warframe slot. And if you do 12 um, prime junk slots or prime junk parts, you get sell for 2 for each. You got 24 platinum. That's 4 weapon slots right off the bat. That's one way. Another way is don't worry about it if you really can't get that much. Just sell your fully leveled up weapon. And if you really want it that bad, you can go at a later date when you get more room and buy the blueprint and go and build it again. Just make sure it's a weapon that you can buy from the market, because that's a lot easier. Third thing, let's see here, is always getting your mastery rank up. There's a reason for this. There is a boss, which we will talk about at a later date, that is actually on Earth. I know I left this part out, and some of you by now probably certainly have figured, where the hell is it? There it is. Oro.
Now we finish this business once and for all!
Counselor Vahek is on Oro on Earth. Every planet, or almost every planet, will have an assassination, and I've said numerous times in the past to always make sure you are doing your mission nodes. Actually, I think I've said it this tutorial already. But all of you, if you are not master rank 5, I'm a 26. You can see there the little emblem right next to my name. If you are not a master rank 5, you will not be able to get to Oro.
Why are these fools still breathing my air?
Trust me, it'll be very refreshing
This is unacceptable!
Trust me, it'll be very refreshing killing him, because he's a real asshole. He doesn't sound any better than he looks. That's for damn sure. But no, you have to be master rank 5 to get to Oro, so don't worry about that. I'm sure all of you will be wondering why the hell I can't get to that mission. Yeah, no, I deliberately left that out. Left that out because of that reason. Once you hit master rank 5, like I said, master rank 5 and Mars, that's when things get interesting. So let's actually go in to the syndicates and finish off the details that I did not cover last video, which was how to begin in a syndicate. And that is to go into their offerings and have one of their sigils. Okay, one of their lowest sigils that does not even require any standing with them whatsoever, and just make sure that it has it just doing anything for them whatsoever. You basically have to have a sigil of their faction equipped on your Warframe, which you will find in your arsenal. Go to your arsenal. Go to your Warframe. Go to appearance. Go to regula, and go to either your front or your back. You can only have one faction sigil equipped on a Warframe at a time. You cannot put two of the same on the frame. You cannot put one of one sigil and one on another sigil. Now, faction sigils, one on the front, one on the back. Now, you can put any sigil you like on the back and any sigil you like on the front, but if you put a faction sigil on the front, you can put any sigil on the back you want as long as it's not a faction sigil. So, that being said, that is how you gain standing. Even in a scenario where you've completely, like me, maxed out everything on the left or the right and you want to switch to the other side. Same thing applies. Sigil in your Warframe and just consistently use it. So, onward to Mars. This is where stuff gets interesting. We're going to work our way all the way through here. And once you clear out this entire area, we have a couple of things in store. First is the Maroo's Bazaar. Now, I will actually go here and show what the Maroo's Bazaar is because it is different from the other relay that we went to. The Maroo's Bazaar is exactly what it sounds like. It is a trading post bazaar that is named in the name of the character Maroo, which you'll find in, I believe, either Once Awake or Stolen Dreams. I
Hey,
forget which.
came to trade? Or did you find some Iatan treasures you want Endo from?
Yeah, I attend treasures and Endo is something we've talked about in the past, but if you want to
If you're
turn
looking for
in
Maru's Bazaar,
extract
you've
endo from
come
my
to the
IATN
right
items. You
place.
can trade in stars. You can trade in sculptures that you have fully gemmed up.
Come back anytime,
You can
Tenno.
find other people wanting to sell items. They'll have their hand up just standing there. You can go to them and trade um, all kinds of stuff. You can go up to them and trade. You've already requested a trade. You have to go in and send a trade request to them and say, I'm just looking for now. Or ask what's the price on it would be a better question. Um, just saying, because there's some people that want to not have to constantly spam or read the trade chat. You could actually just go in here. I've never found that much use to it. Um, but yeah, there really isn't anything to do in the rest of the bazaar. You have some people wandering around, some NPCs that really you can't even talk to. But there's really nothing else to do here. Um, it's solely for the Maroo.
Hey,
The Maroo.
welcome to
You
my
can go
bazaar.
in and
Tenno
once a
from
week it
all over the
resets every
system come here
Sunday.
to trade.
You can go in and
Need
do
me
a
pointers?
mission that is guaranteed for an Iatan sculpture. You can go in and do a mission for that. Um, if you want to learn more on how to buy or sell, you can talk to her about it. But this is basically the Maroo's Bazaar. So it's basically a more physical, personal, interactive version of the actual trade chat. I've never found it to be that much useful to me. I actually prefer auction houses, and that's one thing that this game severely lacks is an auction house. I guess that's Warframe's best attempt at a auction house at it. It's an interesting concept. I've personally never really found it that much usefulness because if you go there and put your stuff out for sale, because you can only put 6 items out for sale. 2, you have to be constantly at your computer to receive and accept the trading requests from other players. And C, which is the big issue, is that if no one sees you standing there or even bothers to come up to you, they don't even know you really exist or your wares exist. So that's really kind of the unfortunate part about Maroo's Bazaar. Good concept, slightly off cue mechanics, but then again, that's just my opinion. So that's Maroo's Bazaar. I use it primarily for the endo, for the sculptures, for the mission. That's it. Um, we go all the way through, and then we have the junctions, another two more, because this is one planet that will actually split off to two
Operator,
others.
orders
You
for
have
us. What are
Phobos,
you thinking
and then
of?
you have Sedna. We'll begin off with Sedna first, or not Sedna, Ceres, excuse me. You go and defeat the Sargent at Phobos. So, excuse me, we'll actually have to go to Phobos first. Excuse me. Well, let's see here. What does the Phobos junction begin? Okay, or what does it need? You have to defeat 150 enemies in a single mission, like it says. Do a survival mission. Cephelon fragments, which is going to be something we're going to be getting into, and then open up 3 void lith relics. Now, you have by now several relics that you can crack open by just doing random missions. You should. The best way to get relics is by doing endless missions. To get lith relics, the best way to get lith relics is actually by doing Everest on Earth. That is the best way to get relics, and the best way to crack them open, I've always found, was by doing exterminates, defenses, or survivals. Those are the best ways to crack open relics. But once you get that done, and scanners and all that, you'll be able to do this. This will give you a new quest, which is Stolen Dreams, and this is the place where I believe you meet Maroo. It'll give you another weapon blueprint that you can build, a cipher, which basically just instant hacks anything, which I don't recommend, and I'll explain why when we get up to sorties, which is a very hard uh, missions to do. But let's actually talk about one thing that this mentions, which is cephelon fragments. Now, there is quite a few things to scan in this game, and one of them being very important, which is cephelon fragments. Every planet will have cephelon fragments. All of these. Okay, every planet will have certain nodes. Say, Earth has three nodes that you got to fill in, or 3 segments you got to fill in. Well, every single one of them, I've already completed these, so I can't really do anything about them, but I can show you what they look like on your mini map you actually if you actually come across one of them. They'll have a very big blue diamond shaped looking thing. So, this is actually not a cephalon fragment. This is a soma chord tone, which is very similar, but it's used for music of a frame later down in the road for another quest. But note how it's just kind of really glowy and very purplish. Now the cephalon fragments will look a bit different, but note how this one is like so out there and not part of the background. It's really hard to miss, okay? Plus also see on my mini map, if you see right here, okay, how purplish it is. It'll be bright blue if it's a cephalon fragment. It'll be uh, dark bluish if it's a frame fighter fragment, and it'll be purplish if it's a sumachord fragment, which all 3 required to be scanned and whatnot. Now, were this a cephalon fragment, you will scan this and it will say, hey, you got 1 scan out of like say 3 to 5 to 7 scans, and then once you get all those scans done, you will have 1 segment done for that planet, and that's basically how that goes. Again, this is not a cephalon fragment, this is a soma chord. Cephalon fragments will be bright blue, more boxy, more digitally, more data mass looking stuff. all that. You'll know it when you see it. Use loot detector and you'll be able to see it a mile away. Alrighty, so back to Mars. So now that we have, now that you've gotten your 3 cephelon fragments, you're going to go and do the Phobos Junction. This will give you the Stolen Dreams quest, which you will want to do. Again, it's a quest. You want to get it done immediately. It unlocks more lore, makes you stronger, and gives you more items in the end. This will unlock Phobos, which Phobos, really all you need to do here is just clear out the mission nodes and work your way up to the boss. And the boss is the Sargent. Alright, so the only thing that you really need to do here is just take out the Sargent, which is literally the easiest boss in the game. He has no invulnerability frames. Like he drops parts to mag, like just for the sheer explanation of it. Um, I'll go in and show you how to do it. Like it's extremely easy. Like this guy is the easiest boss. The only thing that gives him any slight bit of difficulty is the fact that he can turn himself invisible for a
We need
couple
to
of
find the VIP
seconds
and take
and
them
that he
down.
has a
Do
little
not
bit of
let the
health.
target escape.
That's it. This guy is the easiest. So let's get ahead, find this guy, bring him down, and we'll see what he drops. He drops mag. A chance to drop the chassis or systems or helmet to the new, not really new, to the Warframe called mag. I didn't actually plan on covering Phobos, but considering that the only thing that really is that needs to be covered in Phobos is the boss. Get a sneaky kill on that bitch. Get in over here. Alright, found the guy. There he is. And boop, he's dead. This is the Sargent, everybody. That is the Sargent. He is officially dead. All the way dead. So that was the Sargent. He can turn himself invisible after a few seconds, but he'll always return to normal. Ah, here's the cephelon fragment. Get out of it. Get out of it. This is what the cephelon fragment looks like. See how bright and blue it looks on my map? See? That's what it looks like. You're going to be looking for stuff like that. And if you have animal instinct on your pet and or sentinel, and if you end up having a loot detector on your Warframe, you'll be able to see it a mile away. Ah, he dropped systems. Now, if you're farming mag, all you got to do is buy the blueprint from the market, farm up the helmet and chassis, and you're in business. So that's how you do Phobos. That was Phobos in literally 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes, actually. So, we got that done. We are officially done with Phobos. There's no relays. That was the only boss. Other than farming the dark sectors for a little while, which really aren't even that great because the bonus experience and from them are not really that great either, because there's some that are even better than it. Phobos is, yeah, the only thing that's really of interest to Phobos is the fact you can farm mag from the boss, which is also the easiest boss in the game. So that aside, we got that done. Now we're going to go to the Ceres Junction, and we get this done, and it'll want to defeat Litch Kril on Mars, which he is actually quite the opposite of the Sargent. He is not easy at all. We'll cover that here in just a minute. And it'll say defeat 300 arid Grenier enemies on Mars. You can find them again, like before. You don't have to do this one all on the same mission, but it's easier just to do it like a defense or a survival. Where is one? There's an excavation. Excavations work good too. They're endless. There's a defense. You can do them on that one. And then refine a relic to refine a relic in general. And we've covered this in the last video where you get void traces. Void traces with the resource I didn't remember. You get void traces. We pick a random one. We get void traces, and we can, when you get 100 of them, you can radiate it. And it'll look like that when it's done. It has 3 little notches all lit up. And that's basically all it wants you to do is just level that up, in all honesty. But once you get that done, then you're ready to go. But first, it wants you to delete, basically, litch kril, which that is precisely what we're going to cover now, is Lieutenant Litch Kril. Litch Kril is a very difficult and irritating bastard, and I will tell you that right now. He is not easy at all because he wields a machine gun for 1, a massive warhammer for 2, and he's just overall irritating because he doesn't speak a lick of English. He speaks old Grenier language that is a bunch of grunts, I guess. I don't know. He's a fucking caveman, I guess. I don't really know. But in any case, he wears a suit that is basically invulnerable to any amount of damage. And this is the part that I was going to cover exclusively, but decided to lump it in with everything else because I figured we're going to be on this series forever and a day because there's new content created every single day almost. So in order to keep up, we might as well lump numerous things in together. And I will be putting timestamps in the description below. So we go to find Litch Kril. And no, his voice box is not messed up. That's actually how he talks. That is one dude you actually have to have a Google Translate for. I just passed another cephelon fragment, I believe.
We suspect he may have other tricks up his sleeve. To survive this battle, you must strike hard and fast.
Well, kind of hard to do hard and fast when he's invulnerable to everything. Alright, here we are. Boop.
Kril is a seasoned hero with many battles under his belt. His victories are decided.
There we go.
By his
Skip the
hammer,
cinematic.
one which he wields
Alright,
with
this
brutal
guy, he
consequences.
is Litch Kril. Warhammer. Ow. Alright, so you see these tubes on his back? You want to shoot him. This is the machine gun he's talking about. It doesn't do that much damage to me because I'm Rhino. I also have a very
There is the assassination
tricked
target.
out
You know
Rhino.
what to do.
But one of the best ways to avoid his damage is use Rhino armor for the beginners. But see them tubes on his back look like a fucking butterfly? Yeah, shoot them off. You want to shoot them suckers off. There you go. It's best to do it when he's doing his hammer. There you go, shot one of them off. Just keep shooting him in the back. Alright, he froze himself, and when he does that freezing animation, you can do a little bit of damage to him. Once you get done with that, then shoot off the other two. There he goes. Just keep shooting him in the back. Again, like everything else I've said in the past, this is with anything else that you do in this game, this is very easy to bring down when you have a squad. So doing things in public is always best. There he goes. He's taking damage. There you go. Popped his other thing. Now, once you have both of his tubes down, that's when he's going to get really pissed. That's when he's just going to get really pissed and get all fiery on you. And at this point, you can basically just kill him. Because once he gets all fiery mode and everything, you basically just shoot him and kill him, and he basically becomes a sergeant.
Target down. Assassination contract complete.
So once
Great
that's
work,
done,
Tanner.
you are
You're
good
still in the clear.
to
No detection
go.
from enemy sensors.
So, let's
They won't
recap
be bothering us
on how
anymore.
to bring
Let's get out of
down
here.
Litch Kril. For one, he drops Excalibur which didn't used to happen, but it does now. So you can actually get Excalibur if you did not start with him. So if you started out with, say, with Volt, and you don't have Excalibur, then you can now farm Excalibur. So 2 is the only way you can really bring him down is just shoot his tubes. Just shoot him in the back. Just constantly get him in the back. And once you get rid of his tubes, then he gets pissy. And once he gets pissy, then you can bring him down. Easy as 2-tubed pie. If that's even a thing. If not, let's hope not. In any case, once you get that done, you are ready to take down Ceres Junction. You'll get a cache of credits, another weapon, blueprint to add to your collection, and 2 mods to go with it. A mod and a stance, actually. Stances are very useful. Right, so that is Mars. Everything to do on Mars as well as Phobos. There really isn't anything to do on Phobos. Phobos leads to the Void, which we'll cover at a much later date because that is medium intermediate graded content and difficulty, while we are still in the beginning. The next one we're going to cover is Ceres, which by this point you should be MR5, Master Rank 5. At this point you should. So we'll be covering everything in Ceres, which shouldn't be too much because it does not have a relay for 1, and it only has the boss for 2, which, and the junction, of course. But the reason why Ceres is going to be covered, normally with such little content I wouldn't cover it, but reason why I will cover it is because the boss on this one is actually 2 bosses rolled into 1, and how much stuff you can actually farm out of this one. And I'll also be covering Oro. I actually saved it until now, or next video, rather than earlier, but that was because by this time, shut up, thank you. By this time, you will have to more than likely be Master Rank 5. So by this time, you should be able to take down Counselor Vahek. And until you get very strong, you'll actually want to do that in a squad. So we'll actually cover that next video. So anyway, thank everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. Veteran Warframe players, do leave feedback down in the comments below for something that I have covered in this video, but I may have missed. Say if there's like a special tactic or a Warframe combo with weaponry that I've missed or might be better at taking down certain bosses, etc. So anyway, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Helion family, and make sure that notification bell is on so you can get alerted to all kinds of new content whenever it comes out to the channel. Chernobyl. To the Chernobyl of channels. That's basically how this is. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, I hope to see all of you in the next one. See ya!
Whee!